How to convert a no into yes in wholesaling real estate. Guys, it's Rick Ginn. In today's video, I'm going to give you the 3 reasons why a seller is going to say no to you. And I'm also going to teach you the 3 A's to convert any no into a yes for any type of wholesaling deal. But before I do that, do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button. You hit that subscribe button to continue to receive the best information on wholesaling today. So you got an answer no and you're freaked out and you're discouraged. And I'm here to tell you, you're going to get a lot of no's in this business. So you have to learn to decipher what a no means and where to go from there. Most no's in any sales process simply means the seller or the client is lacking information to make a sound decision. So they simply say no to protect themselves. Now, I want you to think about this. You have taken the time to find this motivated seller. You've spent probably 10, 15 minutes on the phone minimum with them. You've qualified the customer. You've gone through everything. You've gone through the MCTP, the motivation, condition, timeline, and price. And you've identified motivation. You wind up setting an appointment with the seller. You go on the appointment, you meet them at their house, and you probably spend an hour with them. All in all, you've probably spent 2 to 3 hours of the seller's time. Now, do you really believe the seller took that amount of time, all that energy with you to respond to you, to possibly get you to buy the house, knowing they're going to say no up front? That's crazy. So I want you to understand this. Sellers you meet with don't want to naturally say no. It's actually the opposite. If they take that much time to give you all that information, meet with you, and take the time to meet with you personally, they want to find a reason to say yes. Your job as the wholesaler is to fulfill all the information they need so they can make a valid decision of yes to move forward with you. And sometimes, guys, no is okay, but for the most part, probably 90% of your no's is because they just don't have enough information. So I've explained to you why they're seeking to get a yes to your offer. So it's your job to give a presentation to get to that yes. And if you're getting no's, let's go ahead and address the main reason. I've already told you there's 3 reasons why sellers say no to you. And understand, they're not always just rejecting their offer. It is a multiple things that happen to get to it. But I've done tens of thousands of appointments. I'm telling you, it always boils down to 3. Number 1, and this is a big one. You tried to close the client way too soon, or you waited way too late to do that. Sounds crazy, but it's true. So if you try to close them too soon, it means you didn't give them enough information for them to make a sound decision. And if you waited too late, you actually gave them too much information and you confused them. And unfortunately, this happens a lot. And it's going to happen to anyone who's just starting out wholesaling. Your tendency is probably to overtalk. And some of you just want to get to the point and you don't give the client enough information. So don't worry, I'm going to teach you how to solve this. Number 2. It simply is you didn't attempt to use a trial close, which will fix the one before this on trying to close them too soon or too late. If you don't use a trial close in wholesaling, you are missing the boat. Trial closes solve a lot of your problems. And reason number 3, they say no to you. And this one's going to seem really out there, but it's the truth. They are rejecting you, not your offer. You know why? Because they don't trust you. And you did something to create a distrust. Now, it could have been you didn't take enough time to build rapport. Maybe you said something wrong. I don't know what it is, but when this happens, when the trust breaks down, you have to start all over and rebuild it up. But don't worry. I'm here to fix all 3 of these, and I'm simply going to show you now how to take the steps to convert any no into a yes, and I'm going to teach you the 3 A's on converting no's to a yes for any wholesale real estate deal. So we've gone over the 3 reasons people say no to you. So now I'm going to teach you the 3 A's to fix any no and save your deals and turning it into a yes. Now, understanding if you have a no, that does not mean it's over. It's actually the opposite in sales. No just means they're missing some key pieces of information for them to give you a yes. It's your job to fix it. So how do we fix it? I'm going to teach you a technique called the 3 A's. So number 1, You're going to apologize because you did something wrong. And the sooner you admit it and the sooner you apologize for it, the easier it is to continue the conversation. Rick, what do you mean apologize? How do I apologize for something I don't even know I did? It's simple. Be your authentic self. When a seller says no to you, say, Mr. Seller, I'm so sorry. You know what? I believe I've done something to cause you to either not like my deal or something I've said personally, and maybe there's a trust issue here. I want to apologize for whatever I say. By doing that, your sincerity and authenticity should come out, and it better be real, because if it's not, this will get you nowhere. Be authentic. Say, listen, I made a mistake. Maybe I just didn't give you enough information. Maybe I overwhelmed you, and I want to help fix this problem. By doing that, you are soliciting a response from the seller. Now, hopefully the seller's going to go, you know what? When you just walked in my house and you didn't like knock on the door or something like that, I just didn't trust you from the get-go. So maybe you can fix that trust issue. How? You are now going to go back and build rapport. But whatever the issue that they gave you, maybe it's the price, maybe it's the terms, maybe they need you to close faster, slower, whatever it is. So once you get that information from your seller, you now need to acknowledge it. And this is a key part. So by acknowledging it, you're agreeing with them and you're getting back into harmony with them. If you don't think there's vibes going back and forth when you meet with a seller, you're crazy. I'm telling you. They read you, they feel you, and if they feel like it's not good, they'll just say no. So now you're going to acknowledge whatever the issue is. And if they're being vague about it, this is the part where you ask them, what specifically upsets you about me being here today or with my offer? And ask for details. You have to get this because you cannot turn a no into yes unless you know what the real objection is. Do you know no is just a very vanilla objection? I just don't want to deal with you. And it's not enough to go on. So once we acknowledge it, we're going to ask for specifics if they don't get it to us. Why? Because without it, you cannot convert this no. The next A is address it, okay? This simply means now you've identified it. Now you're going to have to think on the fly and fix it. So if it's the terms, if it's the price, maybe you need to go back over comps, maybe you need to go back and look over at the HVAC system, whatever it is up to you to fix it. Now, the really neat part about this is once you identify it, that's usually the only reason they don't want to do the deal with you. And if you can rectify that situation, you can save the deal by converting your no into a yes. So one quick note, if you've identified it's something you've done personally, this is your opportunity to come clean, be authentic, and re-engage and start building that rapport. Find some commonality, family photos, trophies, whatever their hobbies are, and reconnect with them. Because I find that rapport is the biggest issue. If they don't trust you, it means you didn't take the time to build that rapport. So if you know it, it might hurt a little bit. Just go ahead and address it right there because you still have time to save the deal. So now that we know what the 3 A's are, we're basically going to apologize, acknowledge, and address any issues to convert that no to a yes. Now, once you have that, then we're going to move on to what we call a trial close. And this is real simple. It's not complicated. A trial close is really the ability for you to test your seller out as you're going along on the sales process. And the reason why it's so important is you can gauge your seller's feedback to see if you're actually making progress towards getting to a deal instead of waiting to the end for that ultimate surprise, because sometimes you don't know how things are going. So the first thing I'm going to do, if I've got a no and I've done the 3 A's, now I'm going to go back to a trial close. You're like, well, Rick, do I have to start all over? No, real simple. Now I want you to summarize the parts of your deal that worked. Maybe the price worked. It wasn't the issue. It was the terms. Re-solidify the parts of your deal that works. That's the easy part. And that way you don't have to reopen those can of worms and you can simply leave off where the problem is. Number 2, then you're going to go to the addressing part. This is the fix it part. Mr. Seller, you said you're upset because I'm not closing it within 30 days. I told you why I needed 60 days. What if we just decide on 40 days? Is that something that would work? Is that something you would consider to get this deal closed? And that's your point where you're basically doing a trial close. And here's the whole point of a trial close. When you're going through it, as you're going through the points and you're negotiating with your seller, if I could offer you $100,000, if I could close in 3 weeks, the if and or statements are key to any type of trial close, because without a trial close, you're just shooting from the hip at the end of your sales process to see if you get a yes or no. When you rather deal with objections when they come up, because you and me think we know all sellers' objections, you don't. So the best way to pull out and solicit a seller's objections is by doing the trial close process. And I don't do the trial close process till I get to the negotiating part. So I want to gather as much facts as possible. I'm gonna start, Mr. Seller, if I could close this property by the end of the year and I could get you that $100 and some odd $1,000 that you were seeking, is that something we can move forward with today? Are you okay with it? Well, no, I don't want to do at the end of the year. Can we do like the second week? Because maybe they got a tax situation or something like that. Okay, so let me get this straight. If I give you the $100,000 and buy it as is condition, pay cash, and then we extend the closing till like January 5th, does that sound like it'll work for you? It's simply like that. And then I'm constantly going to keep tweaking that trial close until I overcome that objection, because once I get that solved, I don't have to go back and rehash the entire sales process. Guys, when you get a no, you have to learn from it. It's okay if you get a no, then you have to get into the mode of converting the no to the yes. You know the 3 reasons why they're going to give you a no. If you use my 3A system to address any no to get a yes, that's basically going to be your apologize, acknowledge, and address it. Then you go back, you rehash the parts of the deal that work, you summarize it, you attack the fix it, the address problem, and then you're going to use the if statement. And then once you get a trial close, once you get acceptance, move forward, go get the contract from your car and close that deal. And remember, a trial close is just your ability to test your seller out before you get the final agreement. By doing this, you can elicit their objections so you can easily overcome them while you're doing the process. Let me know, are you here to convert your no's to yeses and go, Rick, how can I get a yes from the beginning? Guys, trial closes are key. And what I would do is I would replay this video and understand that, because I got 21 plus years. This happens about 95% of the time just the way I told it to you. If you will follow this process and actually use the trial close and the 3A's, your success rate will go drastically up. And it'll also allow you to fix the deals that were a no, and then you can convert to a yes. But guys, let me know in the comments if you're going to use these techniques to convert your no's to yes. And guys, make sure you hit that like button, you smash that subscribe button to continue the best information on wholesaling real estate deals today. Guys, this is Rick Ginn, and I'll see you in the next video.